Hello everyone, welcome to Boom here via SpikeNet. My name is Alan Obrador. I'm a head coach here at the Volleyball Club in Miami, and I did a blog not too long ago about coaching nowadays, and obviously the way that parents behave nowadays, which is a little bit different than when we were growing up. So it's a snowflake kind of pink society for us, and there's some issues that I think that should be addressed, and I'm going to try to address them in this blog because I think it's going to be easier for some coaches to show it, just to show it to their parents, and it'll be interesting for them to say, you know what, maybe this Puerto Rican guy is trying to break it up a little bit easier than I can. So I'm going to try to address this issue in the best way that I can. Obviously, growing up back in the days, I'm 47-year-old, you know that most parents didn't go to all your games, and guess what? It was totally alright for your parents not to go to games. That didn't mean that they didn't love you or they didn't care about you. It meant that they had something else to do, and they will love you regardless of you playing or not playing. But nowadays, well, times have changed. Parents go to the games, which is awesome. You know, you want support, and most parents also, they want to see their kids, which is outrageous. I mean, it didn't happen to me, and I love my parents and they love me dearly, but it happens nowadays, and I think it's cool. Some of the things that happen when parents go and obviously they cross the line are the things that I'm going to address now in this blog, so you guys can relate to. And if you're one of those parents that are doing this, I hope this serves you to do a little bit better, to think about it, to maybe see it from a different perspective, and starting to saying that you got to let your kids handle their own issues. I mean, you cannot go through life, they cannot go through life having you handling their issues. There are issues that you should address, you know, obviously, but there are some that you cannot. So obviously, let's start with the bigger picture. Playing time. Okay, playing time is something that is huge. Everybody wants all the kids to play, which I believe you should. If you're in a regional team, if you're in a team that goes all the way to 14 years old, but when you're a national team from 14 years old over, it gets a little bit tighter. If you want to compete, there's not a chance to play all the players all the time. And I am pretty sure that coaches will find a way, obviously, to find playing time, but sometimes it won't. And that's the way it's always been. You know, when you see a really good team, you don't see all 12 players obviously playing at the same time in all games. And a huge statement that was in USA Volleyball the other day, and I think everybody should see it this way. Parents come to you and they tell you, well, I'm paying for this, so if I'm paying, my kid needs to play. And the big thing is that you are not actually paying so your kid can play. You're paying so your kid can learn and so your kid can practice. So that is the biggest commandment here. That's the biggest thing that you should remember. So take it from there. I mean, I might as well end up this year and it'll be all summed up there. But there's another issues that I would like to also express. Sports are part of life, and this is becoming out of hand. What I'm saying out of hand is that parents are calling colleges right now. You know, they're calling your universities to speak to coaches, to speak to teachers about their grades. And I'm just wondering, what are they going to do when they have their own job? Are you going to call their boss? You know, kids nowadays need to handle their issues. If they have an issue with the coach, regardless, I mean, let's talk about playing time, which is the big issue. Tell your kid, I mean, she should be able, or he should be able, unless he's 9 or 10 years old, to address the coach and ask him the real question, which is, Coach, how can I improve? What is it that I can do to play? And I'm pretty sure that coach will let you know if it's a physical thing that you can address by training, lifting, doing some other stuff, doing privates maybe, and that might be the answer, obviously. So that's something that is the big question, okay? There are also things that you need to come to terms. You know, if you know that your kid is not the most athletic kid, parents know, we do know, I'm a parent, so keep it real. You know what the things that you know your kids can do and the things that they cannot do. But if they're older, let them handle it. Let them talk to the coach and make that question. That's not disrespectful. It's even cool to know, because there are things that even you as a parent and your kid as a player, they don't know that they need to improve on. But that will be it. So actually, this is how it goes. They play, I coach, and you cheer. That's the way it should be. Also happens a lot in games. Your kids are playing and parents are giving out instructions. When you ask the parents, 99.9% of them didn't play volleyball. They don't know anything about volleyball. and you have a coach that's putting pressure. The scenario will put pressure on your kids. If they're starting even worse, the last thing they need is for you to be screaming out stuff. First of all, that's total nonsense a whole bunch of the times. And they already have a coach. Maybe the coach told them to tip, and you're telling your kid, don't tip, hit it hard. Let coaches coach the way it used to be, and it used to work, and it still works. Whenever you see really good teams, doesn't matter the sport, you see UConn and you follow Gino Auriemma, he's a great coach. I don't see parents talking to the players. And so on. I mean, if you want to take North Carolina, who just won, I am pretty sure that Mr. Williams doesn't take instructions, all the players from the parents. So at some point, you got to let them handle stuff, okay? When they go to tournaments, they can get their own water. I've seen kids screaming, hey, Dad, I want my water, I want my Gatorade. Dad runs in, gives them the Gatorade, gives them the water. That also is not going to happen in real life. Let them handle it. When it comes to eating in tournaments, you want to eat something after the game, and you see they eat like 2 sandwiches, Nutella, chips, you name it, and they just played on AC that's actually freezing. They didn't sweat, and they overeat, and those are things they need to handle. I could never imagine my parents telling me, did you have breakfast for the game? That was my trouble, and if I didn't, I'll probably eat something on the way there, and we will be fine. The water I already talked about, the overeating, talking to players. I've seen other parents talking to players. Let's talk a little bit about that issue. If you're there, and like I said, if you follow these rules, they play, I coach, you cheer, you will be fine. Then I see parents that have opinions over other players. Guess what? Maybe the dad and the mom of that kid standing next to you, and you're criticizing that kid, and that dad can turn, and it all goes, it's mayhem, everybody goes crazy. You shouldn't be criticizing other players, not even your kid. And if you are, I mean, just do it all by yourself and somewhere else. If you can't handle it, walk outside, work, get some coffee, but behave. I mean, it's what kids want. I ask them every single day, and I've been coaching for almost 30 years. And all they want is for you to be there and to be supportive of your kids. So that's how I will take it. Back in the day, we didn't have bottled water. Nobody died. We used to drink water out of the hose or water fountains. Nobody ever died. Nobody threw up. I don't remember even having dehydration cases. Back in the day, well, nobody had Gatorade. And like I said, nobody ever. I never saw anybody, hey, Tommy's here or Julie's here and she's dehydrated. So your kids are not gonna, get dehydration cases in the middle of a tournament on a convention center with awesome AC. And like I said, these are things that I need to be. I know for a fact that they need to be addressed for 2 things. For your kids to want to love the game, which is what they should be doing. They should want to come here, get better, embrace the competition, enjoy their teammates, enjoy the moments. And parents are putting so much pressure that it's ridiculous. They're fighting in the stands, they're making a fool out of themselves, and I don't think it's really good for kids. Also, if you want to do something with your kid and you want to handle everything that I'm telling you that you cannot handle, there's always one thing you can do. You can get a lot of money, and you can build on your own club, and then maybe your kid can play in your own club. But if they're going to play somewhere else and they want to be successful, let them handle their issues. Make sure that you do what's best for them. Let them grow. Try not to be club hoppers. Club hoppers usually then end up being college hoppers, and then job hoppers, and I guess marriage hoppers. Whenever they encounter something that's really hard, well, they will bail out, because that's what we're teaching them. Loyalty, stand where you're supposed to. And I hope that for all coaches out there, if you haven't spoken to your parents about this, well, tell them that Coach Obrador, he was fool enough to do this for you, and I hope that it benefits the kids. So I hope you enjoyed this edition of Boom here via SpikeNet, and I hope all parents around there be a little bit old school, and there was no problem being old school when it comes to this. Let them handle this stuff and let them enjoy the game, which is what they play. After all, it's a game. See you next time.